Hey, it's Dave Jackson from the School of Podcasting.com, letting you know what's coming up on episode number 614 of the School of Podcasting. We're going to talk about some of the questions that every new podcaster should answer before they press record. And the first one is, why? Why are you starting a podcast? And if your answer is, I think it'd be fun, that's fine. But in theory, if you can't really explain the why, if the answer is, I don't know, it might be cool, I don't know. That usually doesn't work. If you can't explain the why, then you're not going to make it through the how. So if you say, well, because I want to grow community, I want to reach a global audience, I want to build a better relationship with potential customers, things like that, that would be a why. And there are tons of different reasons. I want to be seen as an expert, but you need to know your why. Number two, how are you going to gauge its success? I've had people that'll say, well, if I had 100 people listening, oh my goodness, that would be awesome. And then they end up with 150 people listening and they compare themselves to some other podcaster and it just sucks the joy out of them. They're like, well, they have 8 million listeners and I have 200. Well, 200 is 10 classrooms of 20. That would be a whole floor where I used to do teaching. So I always say that because sometimes I'm like, look, you said it'd be a success if you did this and you're doing that now. Are you saying that you're creating a new goal, which is fine? That just means we need to steer the podcast in a new direction. And the third one, and this is the one that I just added, and I really think it's probably the most important question that you really need to answer. And that is, what are you going to quit to start your podcast? And the reason I say that is most people are not, well, why are you going to start a podcast? And they go, because I'm bored. I'm sitting around watching Dr. Phil and Judge Judy. There's nothing on TV. I'm bored out of my gourd. I've never heard that. It's usually like, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. And because they've already got so much going, they want to start a podcast. Okay, well, then you're going to have to give up something. You're going to have to give up something. And that is something I don't think most people think about. And a lot of people are like, well, I'll just sleep when I'm dead. Well, that's not going to work because now your attitude and your health is going to take a dive. You're like, well, I'll just do this. You got to figure it out. Because if you have this much margin in your life and you're adding a podcast, that margin is going to go away really, really quick. So that's just like a minuscule of what we talk about on episode number 614 of the School of Podcasting. You can find it over there at schoolofpodcasting.com. You can subscribe to the show by going to schoolofpodcasting.com/subscribe and subscribe in your favorite podcast aggregator. That's a big word, aggregator, 50-cent word. Thanks so much for watching.